hey there. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to do something a little different. Although now that I'm saying that, I realize I haven't been really consistent with the theme in my videos. It's been a hair video, fashion video, husband does my makeup video. So, I mean, why not continue the theme of randomness and just dive into another type of video? Let's do it. Recently, I've been watching a lot of story time videos, and I thought, hey, that would be so much fun if I did one of those. Then I sat down and I was like, well, what story could I share? And I realized I have a pretty boring life. So, yeah. But then a story did pop up in my head, and it's a pretty crazy story. I think it's our go-to story every time we want to tell a good, funny, crazy, exciting story. And there goes Samson. You good? You comfortable? Did you guys just see that sigh? Okay, well, you stay back there and you do your thing. Anyway, back to the story. It's one of those stories where you think back and you're like, did that really happen? Like, did we really do that and survive that and not die from that? Yeah, it's kind of one of those stories. So I guess I will begin. So the story takes place last Christmas. Hold on, before I tell the story, I have to tell a little backstory. Connor, my husband, his brother, owns a car, and that car is a very old Subaru. Connor's parents were like, hey, we'll buy that Subaru from you folks since you guys aren't using it, and you guys can use the Subaru to drive from Utah to Washington for Christmas. And when I say you guys, I mean me, Connor, Connor's brother Phil, and Samson. So the three of us, plus Samson, would be making this 13-hour road trip from Utah to Washington in this Subaru that has had a bad track record for breaking down and just not working right. The first time I heard that this was going to happen, I instantly was like, we are not gonna make it. No way this car is gonna make that trip. But that was the plan, so we decided to go with it. You can kind of see where the story is going, right? So on December 20th, we picked up the car, we picked up the Subaru from Connor's older brother's house. The next day, December 21st, was the day we were gonna make the road trip. The plan was to leave early in the morning because Connor and Phil wanted to catch the Seahawks game. So we left around 4 or 5 o'clock, went to pick up Phil, gassed it up, and then we headed for Washington, and specifically Issaquah. We're driving, things are pretty smooth. I mean, Samson's just chilling, we're just having a good time, listening to music, doing the road trip thing. About 7 hours into the road trip, we are in Oregon, right before, I believe, Baker City. All of a sudden, steam starts seeping through the vents, and we're like, the car starts making weird noises. Phil is driving at this point, and he's slamming on the gas pedal. We're going uphill, and the car is literally like slowing down the harder he steps on the gas pedal. So naturally, we pull off to the side of the road because we don't want to explode. The moment we turn off the engine, just steam comes out of the hood of the car, and the car is donezo. Like Kristen Cavallari on Laguna Beach donezo. My car is donezo! That kind of donezo. It was hard for me not to be like, I told you so. You know, Phil and Connor do their manly men thing, and they step out and they try to see what's wrong with the car, see if it's an easy fix. As they're fixing the car, it starts like sleeting and raining and gets really cold. Of course, if the situation wasn't already crappy to begin with. After an hour, we kind of decided to call, well, I say we, like I am helping the situation when all I'm doing is just sitting in the backseat. They decide to call it quits and just call a tow truck. Oh, and I have to mention that it was a Sunday, so every single auto repair shop was closed. The options were get towed to Baker City, find an auto shop, but none of them were open, so we would have to leave the car at a closed auto shop, find a place to stay for the night. Hopefully the next morning someone could fix the car, even though I'm pretty sure it was donezo. My car is donezo! And if it was donezo, we'd have to like rent a car or have Connor's parents drive all the way from Washington. They would drive 5 hours to pick us up, 5 hours and go back. There was just no quick fix to it. Of course, when we called the tow truck company, they were like, yeah, we'll be there in like 1 or 2 hours, give or take. Okay, we just sit in the car, helpless. And as the three of us are sitting there, 15 minutes go by. The windows start fogging up, so we can't see who's outside the car, if there is anyone, or if there are any cars passing by. We can only hear things. All of a sudden, I look outside the front window, and there are lights. They're like brake lights. Oh, is the tow truck here already? Like, that was really quick. So we open the door to see who it is, and it's this huge car hauler, like a semi-truck car hauler. Literally, I felt like it appeared out of thin air in front of us. I'm no car hauler expert, but I'm pretty sure they can't just slam on their brakes and stop when they want to on the freeway. This guy must have pulled off all the way in front of us and like backed his way up so he was literally right in front of us. And we did not hear any of this. So we're like, okay, what's going on? Connor gets out of the car and he goes to see what's going on. And we see Connor talking to this short, scruffy, buff dude. He kind of looked like a sketchy dude, not gonna lie. Connor comes over to us and the first thing that Connor says, he doesn't even tell us what's going on. The first thing he says, he asks Phil, hey man, do you think you and I can take this guy? Like, is there about to be a fight? I was so confused. Phil's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we can. And then Connor proceeds to tell us that this man said, oh, you know, what's wrong with your car? Connor's like, it's dead. The tow truck is on its way. The truck man was like, I can give you a lift. Connor's like, sure. If you could give us a lift to Baker City, that would be great. Truck man's like, well, where's your final destination? Where are you guys heading? Issaquah, you know, in Seattle. Well, I'm going to Kent, Washington. Why don't I just give you guys a lift all the way to Issaquah? What? So that's when he comes over and talks to us. Since we did have two 6'4" big guys with us, and of course, you know, they established that they could take this guy, we said yes, which was crazy. Now that I think back, it's like, why did we say yes? I felt like this was super sketchy, but at the same time, I had this feeling like it's gonna be okay. There wasn't something screaming inside of me being like, don't do it, don't do it. We realized like this might be our only way to get to Washington by tonight, is to hitch a ride with this random truck driver man. We either get to Washington in time by tonight or we get murdered. So yep, we got out of the car. The man expertly was able to get our car onto his car hauler, and then we loaded up into his semi-truck in the front. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought we were all gonna like squish up in the front. There's 2 seats, and then he has like a bed and like a little cabin in the back. So me, Phil, and Samson squished into the back onto his bed, and Connor sat in the front. Thank goodness this guy was actually very clean, and we started driving. So we found out this guy's name is Justin. He's from Tennessee, and he said he makes this trip like once a year. So this isn't like a normal route for him. He's this just like chain smoking, cussing truck driver, but he was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Who stops on the side of the road to pick up 3 random kids stuck in a car? Serial killers? Yes, they do that too, but also really nice people. The entire ride, Connor and Justin were like chatting the whole time. Phil fell asleep in the back, which we keep teasing him about. Connor was like, dude, the point of us being okay with this trip, in case anything happened, you would be there to back me up and we could take this guy on. But nope, Phil just passes out in the back seat, not even on edge, not even sketched out by the situation. And I'm in the back, like, I think I dozed in and out, but I was, you know, kind of nervous. I didn't want to completely fall asleep and we end up in like cages or something. And thank goodness Samson was being such a good boy. He wasn't like whining. He didn't take a dump on this guy's pillow. We drove 7 hours. The ride was supposed to be originally 5 hours, but because we were in a car hauler, we had to drive a little slower, so it took 7 hours. We stopped twice because he had to fill up and he let us stretch our legs. That was when I took this picture. These 2 pictures actually. This one of Connor holding Samson while we were in the gas station. That one I actually posted on Instagram if you follow me and if you remember it from 55 weeks ago. And then this one is up, if you can see, that's our car on his car hauler in the back. And this is another picture that's a silhouette of Samson and what my viewpoint was from where I was sitting. And so we arrived in Issaquah. So he drove us all the way to the back of these like storage units, but he maneuvered his huge semi-truck through these little narrow roads so he could drop off the car right in front of the auto shop, exactly where it needed to be, when we could have easily just like pushed it there, but he wanted to drop it off. So Connor's dad was there waiting for us, making sure we arrived there alive and well. Justin got out with us, helped us unload the car. We tried offering, you know, please let us pay for gas, something, a meal, whatever. He would not accept any money. He was like, I might not be able to make it home for Christmas, but if I can help someone make it home for Christmas, then I want to do that. Connor's mom actually baked some sugar cookies just for him, and so when we gave him the sugar cookies, he was like so excited. He was like, oh man, sugar cookies are my favorite, and he was excited over the sugar cookies when it's like, dude, we could give you cash, take the cash. But he was like, no, Sugar cookies is my favorite form of payment. He jumped in his car hauler, backed up, and just disappeared into the night. And the funny thing is that the whole story, I feel, is like the beginning of an episode of Criminal Minds, where you like see these three naive kids get into this guy's semi-truck and you're like, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. That whole story could have ended in a very different way, in a way where I probably wouldn't be here to tell you the story. Real talk right there. But it didn't, and it ended with us realizing that there are good people out there who just want to do good things to be a good person. It gives me faith in humanity that there are people like that out there. So that's our crazy story of what happened last Christmas. And if you do know a man named Justin who drives semi-trucks and lives in Tennessee, let me know, because I would love to send him a thank you card. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we did not make it home in time for the Seahawks game. But I mean, you know, at least we made it home safely in one piece, because that's more important than the Seahawks game, right guys? If you like these kind of story time videos, give this video a thumbs up. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you think Justin is awesome. I post videos every Wednesday, so make sure you subscribe to stay updated. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my videos. Okay, we hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye! Staring contest. Ready? 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 Go! I win.